What is up, fight fans? We got episode 28, Glove Talk Podcast. Here with my boy Jose. We're
I'm
already
already
getting
pissed at
into
you,
it a
man.
little bit. We're already getting into a little bit about,
I'm already
UFC,
pissed.
but I'm right objectively, so getting into us. Let's get into this first fight here. You got Josephine, how you say her last name? Knudsen
Knutson.
versus Marnik Man in a women's strawweight fight where Josephine is a three-time Muay Thai champion in Sweden. So it was a fight where Marnik Man was just getting outclassed on the feet, and then even she was trying to force the scrambling and force the grappling, and she was still getting outclassed. So I don't know. And this is my opinion. Marnik Man, she's just not ready for the UFC, in my opinion. I mean, Josephine's a high-level girl, but she's still not one of the top 15, and Marnik Man still looked like she was super outclassed. So, in my opinion, Marnie Man needs to go work on her stand up and even work on where she thinks she's the best at, which is on the ground, which she still was getting dominated in. So, and a good one out of Josephine, that stand up, that Muay Thai show with her aggressive striking.
Dog, 30-24 is wild. That's wild. That's to get 10-8 3 rounds is wild.
She was getting on class, though, in my opinion.
Dude, she got
And that
overwhelmed.
forehead crazy, bro. She got an 8 head, bro. That forehead was, I would just aim at her forehead the whole fight. It was free.
Yeah, Josephine, man, high level talent. For a while, she said she has shoulder injury coming into it, which is why she didn't really chase a finish. That's my only knock on the performance is she didn't chase a finish. Um, But dude, she's good, man. She looked very good in there. Didn't really have any holes on the ground or standing up. I think Martin Man's just too green, right? I don't think she has the tools necessary yet to be a high level mixed martial arts. She's got to develop them, so I don't think she's ready for the UFC. Good win for Josephine Knudsen, man. Good on her, the journey she's had to get to the UFC. But man, 30-24 is wild. That you know, you're gonna see a theme in this card of bad judging. That this is where we start, the 30-24. But let's keep going.
I mean, in my opinion, shit, she got outclassed. She got
I
destroyed.
don't give it. I would never give a 10-8 unless someone is on the verge of getting finished for most of the round.
For most of the round, at any point in the round. You could get almost finished in the beginning of the round, and if it's close the rest of the round, it's a 10-8.
Mm mm mm
Yes,
mm.
bro. The rounds are
No.
judged by damage. What's the most damage you can do besides finishing somebody
Here's the thing,
and
though.
getting
If
them hurt?
someone if someone almost gets finished beginning of the round and keeps them close the rest of the round, it's a 10-9, right? Now, if they almost get finished like 3-4 times in the round, right, and they're constantly just still getting destroyed, like dude, Volkanovski Ortega, right, when he knocked down Ortega at the end of the fight, he just kept pounding and pounding and pounding. That's a 10-8. Borderline 10-7. Ortega didn't do anything; he just stood there and took it. If you're keeping it competitive even after a knockdown or almost getting finished, that's
That's
a
different than almost submitted finish is different than almost getting TKO'd finish, bro. If you almost TKO somebody and they don't do anything, they have to fight hard to make it to where it's 10-9. If they don't outclass you
right.
for the rest of the round, it's a 10-8, bro. If it's
Yeah, but she
close,
didn't
if
almost
you
finish her.
almost finish them TKO, that's a 10-8, bro.
Yeah, but she almost didn't finish her at any point. So
But she
how
got
how
super
we?
outclassed the whole round. Like,
I mean, I get that, but it wasn't like she almost finished her at any point. So I
yeah,
mean,
I guess a 10-8 is. I mean, I think one 10-8 is justified. Maybe two is kind of crazy.
yeah, one is fine. 3 10-8s though is kind of pushing it a bit, but
Yeah, and
I
then
don't know, man. That's
going to
that's
the
the
next.
beauty of judging. Nobody really knows what the hell's going on with judging. So
Yeah, and then going to the next fight, we got Charlie Campbell with the TKO over Alex Reyes, brother of Dominic Reyes. So I know a family that's struggling in MMA right now. And then after the fight, he does the whole the Rock thing to DC, calling out DC for talking about his striking. So I respect it. And this adds to the what lightweight division. So good win out of Charlie Campbell.
yeah, man, another good fighter out of the Cerro Longo camp, right, out of New York, and Alex Reyes, man, it's sad, right? The fact he lost his career to so many injuries, including that stem cell injection that caused the infection in his spine. But good on him for making it back. I give him credit for that, man. It's not easy, and he was game, right? He wanted the fight. But Charlie Campbell, man, those hands, he didn't miss. He did not miss, man. Everything he threw, he was landing. He looked so good in there. Um, Another interesting lightweight. right? And I like his build, I like his style, man. And I like that he stayed composed and looked for the finish and just sniped the shots, man. Like he had him hurt, and dude, those knockdowns were nasty, man. Yeah, let's see what's next for Charlie Campbell. I think he's an interesting guy at lightweight, especially at that camp, right? That camp's got some pull, the Serra Longo camp. So yeah, who knows? Sky's the limits for this guy.
Yeah, and then we got the next fight we got Tracy Cortez bouncing back, from that Brian Ortega split, and beating Jasmine Jazavicius in a fight that was closer than what some of the judges gave it. Judge gave it a 30-27, which I think Jasmine definitely won. What round is that? I think round two.
Yeah, round two.
So yeah, this is
And round
I
three
don't
was
think
close. Round
this
three was close.
I don't know if I give this credit to Tracy in this fight because I think Jasmine just underperformed. Because if you look at her last fight where she beats a girl like Miranda Maverick, destroys her. I don't know. I think this is more of Jasmine underperforming in this fight because I feel like this is a fight she could have won for sure. But shout out to Tracy for winning in the stand up, showing that she's better on the feet.
Yeah, and it was a good fight. It was a good fight. Very technical. And Tracy got some ring rust, right? She had fought in about 2 years, I think.
Yeah,
And Jasmine's game. Jasmine's a tough fighter, man. I think she's up there as one of my favorite women's fighters. Like she's always good fight. Um, the 30-27s though, two of them. Come on now, bro. Jasmine clearly won round two, and round three, I thought Tracy won, right? But it was a toss up. Like it was super close, right? I, Listen, again, like you said, I think it was more Jasmine underperforming. All the credit to Tracy. She took her opportunity and did what she had to do, right? But I don't know, man. That them scorecards, like tonight was all over the place. The refing, the judging, everything. But I mean, hey, good fight. It's good to see at flyweight what Tracy Cortez can do. Flyweight's an interesting division, right? There's a lot of moving parts now. A lot of contenders coming up, man. Interesting to see what they do with Tracy Cortez up there.
yeah. And the next fight we had a fight that was overturned because of a bad refereeing. Daniel Slater versus Edgar Chairez. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I missed this fight because I remember like I was watching it and I looked up and I'm like, "What the fuck happened?" And then, so can you explain to people what
So
happened?
for those that didn't see it, so he got put in a standing guillotine, right?
Yeah,
But uh, it wasn't fully cinched. Like the way Daniel was standing, he had it where even though he felt pressure, he wasn't getting blood choke, right? So he still was able to fight it, right? So what he was doing was he was standing obviously like this, and what he did was he made his arms go limp. And what Tagnoni didn't do, usually what Herb Dean does, right? And all the refs, they grab the guy's hand once, twice to see if it's comes back to life, right? No, as soon as his arm went limp, Tagnoni stopped the fight. And Dominic Cruz and DC were calling it out before Tagnoni even did it, right? And as soon as he did it, Lacerda got in his face, as he should have. When you're in a standing guillotine, right, and a guy doesn't have the leverage on you, but he's putting pressure, he's not getting the blood choke, right? What you want to do is you want to drop your body weight, right, like that, kind of go limp. Especially, it's not like John Jones and Machida, where John Jones had the cage back behind him and was able to get the high elbow. Lacerda was able to go limp and wait for him to burn his arms out. Like at that point, you just have your left arm around their body. Your right arm's gonna go limp, kind of push the body weight, hope his arms burn out. Right. That's what Lacerda was going for. The right arm went limp. The left arm was fine, and Tagnoni still stopped the fight. He and Dominic Cruz is right. He's like, this is why judges and referees need to grapple. They need to do jiu-jitsu. Like Mark Goddard does jiu-jitsu. Herb Dean was a mixed martial artist, right? Um, you know, you have to know what's going on in these
and
situations,
also
right?
stay updated with techniques because there's always new techniques that come out.
Right, bro. Like if a guy's going like this to you standing up, you're obviously what you're gonna try to do is use your body weight against it. It's all you can really do. You can't really break the hand lock. And so I don't know. Daniel Lacerda said he wants this fight rebooked for next month in Brazil, I think, or November. Either way, man, it's tough because these guys go in to make a wage, right? To get paid, to move their career up. And these are career derailing mistakes, if I'm being honest, that these referees need to be held accountable for. That was bad refing. You can't just see the arm go limp and then stop the fight. You got to do right. You got to grab the arm. Is it moving? Is it moving? Like, It was stupid. It was very dumb. I'm glad that DC and Dominic called it out, and people were calling it out on Twitter as well. Because it ruined us of a good fight. Daniel Lacerda and Edgar Chairez are two exciting guys. Like, yeah, they might not win a lot, but because they fight, they put on bangers, man. So I was looking forward to this fight. Shout out Chris Tognoni. You've been on, my shit list for a minute, man. You're staying there for a while now. Come on, bro. Go to jiu-jitsu class, bro. You don't even got to go to gi. Just do no gi. Just do no gi, man. Jeez.
Then you got the next fight. You got the middleweight bout between Roman Kopylov versus Josh Fremd. In a pressing fight where Roman Kopylov was able to TKO and finish him with that body shot. Um, and this gives more credit to Roman Kopylov, showing that he's a contender, a future contender in middleweight. Because Josh Fremd is a guy who's tough, tall, lengthy, and he was down to fight. He's a fierce competitor. So good win out of Roman Kopylov here.
Dude, Roman Kopylov is the real deal, brother. I've been saying this for a minute. He gets better and better every single time he's in the octagon. And I love it because he picks his shots. He doesn't throw crazy wild shots. He picks his shots. That body kick though, man. Oh, no tell on it either. He just switches the hips, and every time, then Josh Fremd dropped the elbow and got caught in the head. And bro, Roman Kopylov's a complete package on the feet, right? And he had great takedown defense. That's one thing I loved about him too. It says Sambo, dude. Sambo style is such a cheat code in mixed martial arts, right? To learn how to have grappling, but also be offensive, right? In your striking. Dude, I say you give him a ranked fight. Lower end of middleweight.
Well, I think isn't he already ranked?
Uh, I
He's
don't think
ranked
Kopylov.
himself. I think himself is ranked, but he's.
No, Kopylov's not ranked. Kopylov is not ranked. And at the bottom half of middleweight, you got Muniz, Curtis, Paul Craig, and Imavov, right? Those are all good fights to make, my opinion. And now with Kelvin Gastelum going to welterweight, he could just move up by default to middleweight. Either way, Roman Kopylov, man, definitely needs to get a ranked fight. He's now on a 3-4 fight win streak. He's just dominated every single guy he's fought in the UFC. Dude, I like him, man. I can't wait to see what's next. He's got a perfect build. He's got great striking. And middleweight needs it, right? It's one of those divisions that's going kind of stale right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, if you get the taller guy, the more lengthy guy shooting for takedowns on you, then it's a good sign. Going to the next fight, which we discredit some reffing, but this fight I think the reffing was pretty good, especially in the armbar situation that Lupi had her in. Lupi Gutierrez beating Elise Reed, doing some DC takedowns, wrestling, throwing her down to the ground and able to finish her. And Lupi looked good everywhere. On the feet, she was aggressive. She was showing that Mexican style. She trains with Alexa Grasso, so a little bit of that showing in her. So, she shows that she's a future contender for sure. She's a tough fight for anybody.
It was Herb Dean this fight. It was Herb Dean this fight, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Dude, shout out Herb Dean. Because I saw Elise Reed's arm go 50 million different ways, and he almost stepped in a couple times, but he did a great job of letting the transitions play out, letting the grappling play out. And it helps that Herb Dean, practices jiu-jitsu, right? Great fight though from Lupi Godinez, man. She's looking better and better. She's gotten a lot. I think she's leveled up the last few fights, and now training with not just Alexa Grasso. We got to give a shout out to Diego Lopez, man. Not only is he a great fighter, but man, he is a tremendous jiu-jitsu coach, bro. He is so good, and you see it in his fighters, right? And the people he trains with. Dude, that armbar, anybody else in the world is tapping that. That was nasty. Her elbow kept going and going. Dude, Lupi Godinez is an interesting contender strawweight now, right? You have to throw her name up there with some higher ranked fights, right? Who's next for her? She's got talent, dude, on the feet, on the ground. And I think her training with Alexa Grasso in that camp, man, dude, they got some killers there now, bro. We'll see what's next for her, but I loved it. She showed very, very well how versed she is in her fight game on the feet and on the ground.
Yeah. Then moving up to the main card, we had Fernando Padilla versus Kyle Nelson. In a fight where you thought the fight should have went to Fernando. In my opinion, it could have went either way. But
Yeah.
Kyle Nelson ended up getting the unanimous decision here. In a close,
Devon,
good fight.
I got a question for you.
Yeah,
In what world would you score that 30-27?
yeah. I wouldn't call it a 30-27 because I definitely think Padilla probably won round one maybe, and then the third round was pretty close as well. So, but I definitely think Nelson won this fight, especially because he had the best round in round two. So
Yeah. And I think Nelson had the more damaging shots at the end of the day. But
yeah,
like I said, I thought Padilla won first watch. I'm not mad Nelson won. It could have gone either way. But 30-27? Are we serious now? Are we watching the same fight, people? Like, what are these judges on? What are these judges on, bro? They like it's so frustrating because it's a great fight and like listen, I get it. Kyle Nelson was gonna get the win regardless, right? Like it was that close, and I think he did more at the end of the day after rewatching it. But dog, it gets to the point some of these judges where I'm like, are they on their phone during the fight? Are they just like placing bets in on sports on like Sports King, DraftKings or something, bro? Like
they got a
what are they
parlay. They're
doing,
trying to hit,
bro?
bro. They're trying to hit in their parlay.
Bro, they doing when they do the live odds in the middle of the fight, they put it on the graphics. That's the judges doing that. That's the judges putting in the bets instead of changing live odds, bro. Like, come on now.
GG.
But yeah, Kyle Nelson, bro. Hey, good win for him, man. He looked good. He looked good. I think I wanted to see more grappling out of him, especially against a striker like that. But good win for Kyle Nelson, man.
Yeah. And then next time we had Daniel Zahuber versus Christos Giagos. And Daniel Zahuber is a guy that we're both highly, we both look highly on him. And he was able to weather the storm in this fight. He was hurt really bad to a point where he almost got finished, but he was able to, bounce back, come around two, hurt him on the feet, and able to get the submission win here over a tough guy in Giagos. No slouch. So that just, he improves on my radar, makes me know that he's legit and he's down to maybe, in the future get a maybe a fight night at the end of the next year. So shout out to Zahuber.
No, yeah. So Huber, man, to be able to come back right from almost getting finished, dude, he looked good, bro. He looked really good. And to be able to get that finish, we saw it a couple weeks ago, right? In the Weeks fight, the Weeks and Charleston fight, right, where getting an anaconda off the takedown, right, where someone's going for a takedown, you get the anaconda choke. Great finish from Daniel Zellhuber. I didn't know he had that in his bag. I didn't know he had that grapple in his bag, bro. And it's the same story with Christos Giagos every time, right? When he wants to strike, people take him down, or people go to grappling and they just neutralize him, right? I thought he fought a decent fight, but I think Giagos kind of burned himself out going for that finish, and then just started throwing all caution to the wind. And you can't do that because a guy like Zellhuber uh, is that highly rated for a reason, right? He has the talent. He's 14-1, like, and I think Zellhuber is now one again. Lightweight's a super stacked division. Do you start giving him a ranked fight? What do you think?
Give him that Nacio Bahamondes fight, bro.
Bro, I thought about that last night when I was watching the fight.
Yeah,
Like those two,
for a rank to get a rank position.
bro. Those two,
I don't know though.
that's
I might want to
perfect.
see
That's
them
a
in the future though. I don't want it to be like a Leon. Actually, it could just be like a Leon versus Usman, where before they were known, they fought, and then one person goes off. But at the same time, I do want them to fight when they're champions one day because I do feel like
yeah.
these
I
guys.
think those two, man. And listen, shout out Bahamondes and Zell Huber. We got a lot of love for you guys here, at Glove Talk. But those two, man, that's fight of the night material, bro. When neither of those two are in the octagon, man. So yeah, good win for Zell Huber. Good for him getting in front of the crowd. Shout out DC for being a caring about the cussing. I get it. We're on ESPN, but come on, bro.
They're
Y'all,
fighting in the
y'all,
cage.
y'all are the ones that chose not to put this on pay-per-view. So
Yeah.
not his fault.
In the next fight, we had the return of Raul Rosas Jr. versus Terrence Mitchell, a guy who comes out of Alaska, a friend of Jared Cannonier, in a finish KO where I didn't expect this fight, but expect this finish from Rosas. But I knew right away that Terrence Mitchell looked a little nervous. He seemed a little jittery.
Yeah, what was he doing?
He didn't seem composed at all. So Raul was able to catch him with a left hook and finish him. And maybe his ground and pound at the end wasn't the best in terms of the best for inflicting damage to get a guy out of there, but he did enough to get the guy who didn't want to be there obviously out of there. So and Terrence Mitchell, you got to show a better fight than that because you were nervous. You're going against an 18-year-old guy, man. Man up. You're like 30 some years old, bro. For real. I get
Bro,
I get it. It's Mexican Independence Day fight card, but you got to man up, bro. For real.
like, I got a question, man. I don't want to sound mean, but you know the piranha thing from Finding Nemo, bro? That one, the anglerfish with the light, bro. That's the first thing I thought of when this dude popped up on my screen, bro. I
Oh,
started
he's
thinking,
about to be
dude,
catching those fish in Alaska now that he can't fucking make it in the UFC. He's about to be on the fucking ships out in Alaska catching them fish.
dude, you want to talk about fumbling an opportunity, man? All he had to do was stay composed for the first 5 minutes, right? Play the first round, feel him out, because Raul Rosas Jr. had his hands down, right? His chin was out there. He was swinging wild. But then here's Terrence Mitchell swinging even more wild and doing even more stupid stuff. Like, bro, what are you doing swinging for the fences inside the first minute? You are 30 something years old, bro. And then you get stiffed by him, right? And then he gets on mount and destroys. Like, bro, listen,
He didn't want to be there.
didn't want to be there. And listen, no respect to Raul Rosas Jr. A win's a win. He's 18. He's living the dream, bro. Do your thing. Um, they need to slow down the hype train, though, man. Build him up. Build him up. He's got a long way to go, in my opinion. A long way to go. And when people are saying, "Oh, he wants to be the youngest champion in UFC history," listen, man. Can he achieve what John Jones did? He's got 5 years to do it. Maybe. I don't think so. John Jones is John Jones, bro. Like, John Jones came into the game already him. Raul Rosas Jr., bro, like, I'm not saying in 5 years he can't do it, but you look at bantamweight now, bro.
I have more
I
faith
don't.
in Muhammad Makayev.
Yeah, and listen, bro. Like, I agree. I have more faith in Muhammad Makayev as well, but like, we look at bantamweight, bro. You look at the names of bantamweight. You got Umar Nurmagomedov. He would wipe Raul Rosas Jr. if we're being honest, right? Song
Mur-
Yadong,
Marab.
Cheeto, Piotr Jan, Sanhagen, Marab, right? Sean O'Malley. All these names where he's got a long way to go to catch up to them, right? A long way to go to get to that level. I'm not saying he can't, but knowing with the UFC and the way they're hyping him, I think they're gonna push him too quick, bro. So I don't know. We'll see.
Then we get into the co-main event, which this is probably the fight I was looking forward to the most. Kevin Holland versus Jack Della Maddalena in a fight where I don't know why I feel like the commentators and the judges were just sucking off Jack Della Maddalena. In this fight, I really thought Kevin Holland was outclassing him. I know
Mm.
Jack had really good defense with hands, but every time he had to come in, he had to eat a teep kick. He had to eat a couple calf kicks before he even got to Kevin Holland. And then when he did swing, a lot of that shit hit the back of his shoulders, the back of his shoulders, and he blocked it. He was doing that Philly shit. He was doing that Sean Strickland shit. So I don't know. In my opinion, they both played really good a defensive fight. But in my opinion, I think Kevin Holland should have won this fight. I give Jack round three, but I think round one and two, Kevin Holland definitely won in my opinion, just because I don't know. I just think he outstruck him every time Jack got in. He had to eat so much just to get a swing off. So he had to eat a couple team kicks, everything.
Can I be honest? Even though Jack Della Maddalena got the win, I it's you would think beating a name like Kevin Holland it elevates him. Not with that performance. Not with that performance. I think Kevin Holland got stiffed again. I'm with you on that. I think the way. Listen, here's the thing, and I'm gonna give a knock to Kevin Holland here. You gotta be more aggressive, man. You gotta be more aggressive. You're a black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. You're one of the best Jiu Jitsu practitioners in the UFC, actually, right? Outside the UFC, he's insane when it comes to Jiu Jitsu. He doesn't like to grapple. He does not like to grapple for some reason in the octagon. And I think if he would have brought an element of that into that fight, it would have changed everything. We saw how much Dylan Maddalena struggled in his last fight when it came to grappling, right? And so,
I think it was just a quick turnaround though. I think
yeah,
7 weeks since the Michael Chiesa fight. So
yeah. And listen, I get it. He's got a lot of fights. He's entertaining. But if Kevin Holland ever really wants to fight for a title, bro, like you got to start picking and choosing your fights more wisely, right? Your camp. your camps, right? The length of it, your game plan into it. I'm not saying it was a bad game plan, but it left room for the judges to score it the way they did. And that's the problem. Where as much as you and me might think, oh, he won, and one judge did score for Kevin Holland, you also can't say, okay, it's a robbery that they scored it the other way.
Yeah, it's
You
not the
just can't.
biggest robbery. Yeah.
Exactly, and it's like that's what happens when you put a performance like that when you try to point fight almost. Like it almost feels like point fighting. I know it wasn't point fighting, but it feels like point fighting. And so
No, it was. I think it was
I'm
point fighting. I think both guys were a little bit fearful of the other guys, knockout power. But I don't know. I think Kevin Holland. I mean, they both did really good defensively. So I'm not even
yeah.
gonna talk that much shit. And then going to the main event where we both disagree the most. Alexa Grasso rematch versus Valentina Shevchenko. In a fight where I think Grasso won this fight. I think she got robbed because you got two judges giving her, Shevchenko round four, which is the round. If you're going by damage, we're not going by control. We're going by damage. Round four, the most damaging blows, were the knees because the knees almost got her out of there. So, and they were definitely legal knees. So not a Peter Yan situation here. And also in that round four, she outstruck her as well, and she got a takedown in there as well. So, um, I don't know. And then you think that Shevchenko won 3-2?
When I first watched it, yes, I have to rewatch it if I'm being honest with you. When I first watched it, I had it 3-2, but I did also say it was extremely close and I could see it going the other way.
Yeah.
Here's where I am very frustrated with the judging, and I agree with Shevchenko on this. Scoring a 10-8 on round 5 is wild.
Okay,
That's
but
wild.
the two judges giving round four to Shevchenko is wild, bro.
I agree. There's a lot of wild things in this, and
And like I'm honestly, when I watched the fight live, I thought Shevchenko won round one, but now that I'm looking at the stats, bro, it looks like Grasso was destroying her in round one. It's
but
crazy.
that's why you can't really play the numbers, bro, because there was a lot of different moments in that fight, right? And I think the moments are the ones that really tell the story more than the numbers sometimes, right? Because like we always go back to Rob Font. Rob Font broke records in bantamweight for significant strikes, and Cheeto Vera still destroyed him in that fight, right? It it's tough. It's tough for me. This fight was so weird to judge because
Let's go like this though. Let's go like this. How
okay,
many times did Shevchenko almost finish Grasso?
I'd say twice.
When?
When she almost had a submission twice. She almost had a submission twice on the ground.
Okay, Grasso almost finished her like 4 times that fight, 5 times. That's why I kind of
Yeah.
lean Grasso. I honestly, the draw, I don't really say okay, that's the worst decision ever, just because the title goes back to Grasso. But um, honestly, I don't know. Grasso had like 5, 6 opportunities. Literally had her almost finish 6 times. It's crazy. 5, 6 times.
I one thing I will say again, shout out Diego Lopez, right?
Yeah.
Her teammate, jiu-jitsu coach, because Alexa Grasso's jiu-jitsu was on point. And I think, listen, Valentina's striking is still there. Valentina like looked good in the striking department. I think Valentina's grappling is taking a step back, bro. Like, yes, she can get on top, but when it comes to
Her wrestling is
jujitsu,
good, but her jiu-jitsu is not the best.
her jujitsu is not the best. Like that, Alexa was giving up the back and getting straight up, right? And doing things where even the body lock, she played the body like Valentina did a great job holding it, but Alexa defended it perfectly, right? And so I don't know, man. It's tough because I think I agree with Valentina in the sense I think the judges did feel pressure with the crowd, which, by the way, shout out the crowd. They sucked last night. The crowd was terrible.
They don't know
The
grappling, bro.
crowd,
Mexicans don't know grappling, bro. They just know boxing.
bro, when Bruce Buffer does the whole it's time, no pop. No pop from the crowd. That's how you know you got a bad crowd. And then they left. As soon as the decision was read, instead of staying to hear Alexa Grasso's post-fight interview, they all left. They all just like walked
But it
out.
also is a
So,
testament to the card as well, though.
oh yeah, the card was weak. The card was extremely weak,
There's a
right?
lot
I
of
think this
more
was
Mexican
rushed.
fighters. You could have had Henry Cejudo on here. You could have Brandon Moreno on here. You could have so many Mexican fighters on
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think they were planning this for Brandon before Brandon lost to Pantoja. That's what I think, right? And then they had Brandon doing commentary, right? I think, listen, I think their plan was to have Yair, Brandon, Cejudo, all them, and like then nobody won except Grasso, and so you had to get stuck with this. Dude, listen. First off, this fight was worthy of pay per view with a pay per view crowd. This is one of the all time great title fights in women's MMA. It was an amazing fight, technically speaking, and everything. It was good. It
here.
was
Yeah,
extremely
and
good.
for the people I've seen on Twitter talking about this is the best women's fight ever, it's not even close. Um, Let me think. I
Yeah,
can name
Rose and
most of
Zhang
them.
Wei Li.
Rose,
Rose and Zhang Wei Li.
no, not Rose and Whaley.
No, Joanna. Sorry,
Joanna Whaley is the
Joanna.
greatest, is a top five fight in general I've ever seen in my life. So let's not disrespect that. And I also think one of the Rose Joanna fights is probably better as well. I forgot which
Yep.
one. I forgot which
I
one.
forgot about that. The Joanna and Zhang Wei Li fight.
Yeah,
Oh my
that was one of the
gosh,
best
man.
fights I've ever seen. So let's not put disrespect, but this is definitely a top five women's fight of all time, in my
All right,
opinion.
Devon, where do you go from here? In women's flyweight.
I don't know because this fight's weird because it's so weird because Shevchenko is definitely stronger than everybody, but it's so weird that Grasso was showing more power. But I think that's
Mm.
more because she's boxing stance more planted and Shevchenko's more, she trained on a Tiger Muay Thai, so, more lighter on her feet. But I don't know. I think, with Shevchenko having that broken thumb, and I think that Grasso, if you had to pick somebody to win the fight, I think you should probably pick Grasso, in my opinion, just because he had more finishing opportunities. I think you go on and I think you give Aaron Blanchfield the next test. You let Shevchenko heal her thumb, or either go and fight Farouk, because Manon Farouk, I think her performance against Rose was lackluster. I don't think that made her deserve the title fight, but Aaron Blanchfield destroyed Tyler Santos, so I think she deserves a fight against Grasso. So, what's your opinion?
I'm trying to see if I'm reading this one right.
Because the
This
trilogy is
might be
always there. You
a
can
glitch.
always do the trilogy. I just hate doing all these rematches, bro. They're just so whack, bro.
Oh my gosh. No. They did do this. They did do this. They did do this. Okay, shout out the UFC, man. Y'all are on one. So, in the rankings of flyweight, they put Aaron Blanchfield and Furo both number 2
Okay.
at flyweight.
Yeah.
So that tells me they want to make that match, which I don't want to wait for this rematch, if I'm being honest, because it's going to take a minute for that broken thumb, right?
Yeah.
And I think Alexa Grasso, after a draw, has to defend her belt again. Has to do it, ASAP. Uh, Listen, whether it's a trilogy or an Aaron Blanchfield fight, I don't think you can go wrong. I think Manon Fiorot is not there yet.
Yeah.
That Rose fight, very underwhelming.
I think Farouk
Um,
versus Shevchenko is the fight to make. I think, honestly.
or listen, Shevchenko's going to be out injured. Do Fiorot versus Tyler Santos.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Tyler Santos is going to take some time off and revisit some things the way she fought against Aaron Blatchfield. So.
Chukagian then. That's another one. Chukagian.
Yeah.
Macy Barber.
Yeah.
Macy Barber versus Fiorot would be a good one. Because then if Macy Barber wins, that's another name up there, right? Contending for the title. So
I don't know. I don't really believe in any of these girls besides Blanchfield.
yeah, there's a lot of fights to make. What would you rate the card?
I mean, for how lackluster it is, there were actually some pretty good fights, So I'd say I'll give it a 6.5, 7, maybe.
Mm.
I don't know. My shit started lagging the title fight, bro. I was like, the last round was no audio. I was like, wow, this fight's way more enjoyable to watch with no audio.
Oh,
Honestly, I
man.
got
I
triggered
give
after
it.
the Kevin Holland because I'm literally listening to them talk about how good Jack is. I'm like, bro, what? Like, he literally is not landing anything.
I love when Alexa Grasso was like, I'm the winner, and Daniel and DC was like, but it was a draw. Like, all right, bro, we get it.
But
Like,
low-key, she's still the winner because she's still going to get them pay-per-view points, though.
right, exactly, man. Listen, I'd give this a 4. I think the refing was terrible. The judging was all over the place. The I know what they were trying to do, right? But the in your face of Spanish and Spanglish and this and that, like, listen to me, man. If we keep that same energy when we go to Paris or when we do a card in Asia, I'd be okay with it. I would. But you gotta keep that same energy. To make a card just for Mexico and be that full on Mexico, I think is disrespectful. It's
especially
disrespectful
for
to the Paris cards.
Brazilians. I think.
It's disrespectful to Brazil. It's disrespectful to the rest of the Latinos that fight in the UFC. Because guess what? There's Cubans, Ecuadorians like Cheeto, Colombians, all that, right? It's disrespectful to Asia. When we go to Singapore, we don't do the whole let's put in Singapore language and Singapore this, whatever. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of the concept. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to compete with with the Mexican Independence Weekend because usually there's a boxing match. They planned this expecting a boxing match,
Canelo versus Charlo.
Canelo this weekend, but Canelo and Charlo got moved. It was supposed to be this weekend, but it got moved. So yeah, shout out the UFC, man. I think they botched that as well. But I loved hearing John Anik on a fight night. I will say that. I give it a 4. Could have been better. The crowd absolutely sucked, bro. Y'all can stay in Texas, man. Don't drive up to Vegas again for a card. That was horrible, bro. But yeah, let's get into the next card. I like this one.
The next fight night is actually surprising to me because I didn't expect this one coming up so fast. But we got Fiziev versus Mateus Gamrot. Number 6 versus number 7 of lightweight division, and the guy that we both know, both guys could be champion one day. So, and then you got the return of Bryce Mitchell versus Dan Ige.
Devon, it's the return of Muhammad Usman.
Oh yeah, I'm naming this the prospect card because you got guys like Cody Brundage on here. You got Dan Argueta. You got AJ Fletcher. And I think this is the prospect card, honestly. But Muhammad Usman coming back after winning against another light heavyweight, and guess what? He's coming back to fight another light heavyweight at heavyweight.
Listen, man, I get it. He had to get off the steroid cycle. I understand. I get it. He had to take some time to get off the cycle. USADA couldn't pop him.
But without trolling though, fights to look out for that I think are gonna be banger because this is low key a sleeper card. I think this is a banger card. Cody Brundage versus Jacob Malkoun. I think that fight, that fight's a banger. Dan Argueta, the guy that we're both high on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And also the Brian Battle versus AJ Fletcher. See what AJ Fletcher can do against a tall, lengthy guy like against Brian Battle. So
that Bryce Mitchell Dan Ige card fight excites me as well. I like that one.
I don't know. I feel like it might just end up being Bryce Mitchell coming back and trying to secure a win. Trying to get that money to fix what his girlfriend did to his crib. He's trying to. So I feel like he might just wrestle him that fight. But I know the main event is gonna be a banger, no matter how it goes.
Oh my gosh, bro! I'm telling everybody now. This could be a fight of the year contender.
Yeah, for sure.
This could be a fight. These guys are insane. Mateusz Gamrot just fights with his head down and shoots for takedowns, and Fiziev just kicks the crap out of your body and your legs, bro. These guys are nuts. When they booked this fight, yeah, it's nuts, bro. It's nuts. I love the fact that they booked this. Gamrot's a 130 underdog. That's a great pick for money.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Gamrot's gonna win.
I got Gamrot. I think Gamrot.
I'm not saying Gamrot's gonna win. I'm not saying Fiziev's gonna win. That is a great fight to put money on. Dude, this right here, listen, the rest of the card might be a little but this fight of the year contender status on it. I'm mad it's at the Apex. I wish this one had a crowd for it. This one deserves a crowd. This fight's going to be a banger. And Rafael, listen, both these guys. Fiziev has a chance to rebound after the Gaethje loss, where he didn't look bad, right? He got beat. And Mateusz Gamrot has a chance to continue his momentum, right? These guys are the reason why we say lightweight is such a great division, right? And you look at it, these guys, if they win, they push themselves for a fight against a Poirier or a Gaethje, or maybe even a title shot in the future, right? Like this fight has a lot of implications in it.
No, I think I'm excited. I think this is for the Beneil fight, honestly, because I think Beneil got the win over Dariush. So a rematch, I think it would be perfect.
Oh, I don't know if you saw this. So transitioning a little bit to other stuff. Aljamain Sterling
Bro, honestly, I hate that nigga. Every time there's a ref that does an early stoppage, he complains. Bro, your stoppage wasn't early, bro. You were face down, ass up, bro.
See, no, that's not even the point I was bringing up. That too. I agree with you. He said, and I quote, "If you think Israel Adesanya deserves a rematch, why don't I? Like, what is the argument that Israel Adesanya was a better champ than me?"
I mean, honestly, bro, I'm done giving that clown. Honestly, I don't even expect him to win another fight in the UFC. I'm not gonna lie to you.
This man really said he was a better champion than Israel Adesanya, the man that cleaned out his division, brother.
He was lapping his division at one point.
Drug test him. Drug test Aljamain Sterling. He really wants that rematch so bad,
Okay, let's talk
bro.
about Aljo. Who has he fought in his division? Let's go. Okay, Sean O'Malley, he lost to. Marab hasn't fought. Cejudo, okay, a win. A gifted win. He
Beat
really lost.
Sanhagen.
He really lost.
Yeah, beat Sanhagen.
Sanhagen beat. Jan. Controversial.
Backpack the second fight.
Yeah, I'd say 50. I'll give him 50-50 against Jan. Okay, Marlon Vera
Mhm.
hasn't fought. Song Yadong hasn't fought. Rob Font hasn't fought. Dominic Cruz hasn't fought.
He beat TJ Dillashaw with one shoulder. Congratulations, brother.
Yeah, and TJ Dillashaw's not even on this list because he's trying to recover with steroids. So,
He beat Cody Stamen, who's not ranked. He beat Jimmy Rivera, who's in PFL. He beat Pedro Munoz, who's washed, right? He beat Brett Johns, who Lord knows.
yeah, so
He got knocked out by Marlon Moraes, which that's great. Beat Henan Barao. Like, I listen, he's been around for a while. I know Aljo had injuries coming up, but his resume is really not that good outside of Corey Sandhagen when it comes to him in the title.
yeah, and then you look at Izzy's resume. He's beaten Robert Whitaker
Yoel Romero,
in his prime. Yoel Romero.
Calvin Gastelum.
Well, I'm not giving the Yoel Romero one because that fight was whack. Alex
It was,
Pereira,
but
Paulo Costa.
he beat Calvin Gastelum. He beat Robert Whitaker. He beat Cannonier. He beat Vittori twice. He beat
Paulo Costa.
Paulo Costa. He lost to Jan Blachowicz in a very good close fight. He beat Derek Brunson. He beat Anderson Silva. He beat Brad Tavares.
Yeah, I mean his
He
resume
beat
is stacked, bro. He hasn't fought a bum in the UFC.
he knocked out Alex Pereira. He fought Sean Strickland and lost, but still, you look at the names he's fought outside of Rob Wilkinson. Every single guy that he has fought in the UFC, bro, we'll go in order. Brad Tavares, Derek Brunson, Anderson Silva, Kelvin Gastelum, Whitaker, Romero, Costa, Blachowicz, Vittori, Whitaker again, Cannonier, Poatan again, and Sean Strickland. There is no off days in that resume. Come on.
Bro.
And listen, people say, oh, he's 4-3 in his last 7. Bro, he lost to Sean Strickland, he lost to Alex Pereira, and he lost to Blachowicz. What? Most guys will be proud to have those 3 losses on their records. Those are big names in the UFC, bro.
Yeah,
and
let's not talk about the wins he's got during that reign as well. So,
bro, Izzy, listen, for Izzy, all intents and purposes, is the second greatest middleweight of all time behind Anderson Silva. And that is not debatable. This is what's debatable. And Aljamain Sterling. People try to say, oh, is he the greatest bantamweight champion of all time? Hell no. The greatest bantamweight champion of all time was commentating last night, and his name is Dominic Cruz, bro. End of discussion. And listen, I'm gonna be honest. Aljo as a champion was not better than TJ Dillashaw. He wasn't. I don't care about the steroid. He just was not better than TJ Dillashaw, bro.
I mean,
I don't know. You got Aljamain Sterling as a champion will go down as one of the most underwhelming reigns in UFC history. I think him and Tyron Woodley. Those are the 2 most underwhelming reigns in the last couple of years. Carlos Esparza, yes, yep, that too. But I think it's different because Carlo was short. But I mean, what underwhelming is Tyron and Aljo had
winning,
fights,
but it was whack.
There you go. They were winning, but it was whack. It was very underwhelming, and very corny. Bro, Aljo is corny, bro. No, I'm not taking anything away from him as a fighter. He's just corny. The personality is corny as a fighter, bro. I can't deal with it. You're calling for a rematch. How about you call for a fight with someone? Go fight Sandhagen.
Yeah.
Right? Go fight someone, bro. This is your fault because you didn't want to fight your teammate. That's your fault. Sorry, you could have had to fight Marab, but no, you had to go get knocked out by Sean. Sean gets to go pick Cheeto with good reason. Cheeto beat him, and Cheetos fought the big names of bantamweight while you picked a fight with TJ and Henry, who hadn't fought in 2 years. That's on you, bro.
Yeah,
This guy, man.
and also, fight I'm calling for is that light heavyweight title fight because they're taking so long. Shit, Jamal shouldn't even relinquish his shit. He could have just recovered from his injury and got a fight. Apparently, at this point,
Technically, he still has the belt.
yeah, I mean,
Technically,
they got
he still has
Ankalaev
it.
hasn't fought. Rakic hasn't fought. Like these guys that we think could be champions one day. None of them are fighting. So,
Didn't Johnny Walker get a fight booked?
yeah, I think he's fighting. Fuck, who's he fighting? He's fighting Ankalaev actually. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so he's about to get raped by Ankalaev. So what? So I guess that means that Alex Pereira Yuri's locked in. If they booked Ankalaev with Johnny Walker, and then Rakic, let's not sleep on Rakic. Rakic is a demon. Them leg kicks, them body kicks is crazy.
Oh my gosh, he's on the Oliveira card. Walker and Ankalaev.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that card.
When is that card coming up? Actually,
next month, the 21st. We are 4.5 weeks away. 4 weeks away now.
Yusuf Barbosa main card. What the fuck am I looking at? Dawson versus Green. What the fuck am I looking at?
No. That's not the main.
No, that's a fight night. Literally, a fight night is Dawson versus Bobby Green. And then after that, we get Yusuf versus Barbosa. After that, we get Yusuf versus Barbosa. Then you get...
wait, Sadiq Yusuf?
Yes. Versus Edson Barbosa.
Oh, you know what? I'm saying it right now. That's Edson Barbosa's retirement fight. That has to be, bro. What am I looking?
I want Yusuf to get slept with them corny-ass Twitter videos. Fuck out of here.
Bro, I'm not going to lie. I'm looking at this Oliveira Makhachev card. Again, it's the next pay-per-view in the UFC. Brother, that card is stacked.
Yeah.
This card is stacked, man. Trevor Peek's coming back. We love Trevor Peek, man. Muhammad Mokaev against Tim Elliott. Imavov versus Aliskerov, who only has his loss to Hamza. It's going to be good. Will Hamza get a press conference canceled again?
No.
Because I can see him and Costa and Aliskerov all getting into it, and him and Johnny Walker getting into it, and Lord knows.
They still got to make more prelims for this card, so it's not even all the way booked yet.
Dude, I think they got to do a Royal Rumble, bro. Get these Chechen and Dagestani guys on one team. Get the Brazilian guys on their team. You got a pretty good.
Yeah,
you got a pretty good fight.
That would sell a lot. I feel like they should do country versus country cards. I feel like those would sell. I mean, they might not be the most ethical thing, but
I mean, listen, that's kind of what this card is, man. So the top 4 fights right now on the main card are Chechen and Dagestani guys against Brazilians.
Yeah.
3 out of the 4 fights.
Honestly, just do Islam Camp versus Shoot the Box. Honestly,
I will say I think they might add more Shoot the Box guys on the card, right? With Oliveira going out to fight, having his teammates out there. Let's see, dude. This Grant Dawson Bobby Green card. Oh my gosh. Joaquin Buckley's coming back.
We'll get to that in the next couple weeks. So we'll see you guys next week. We'll cover what happens after the Vizzy versus Gamrot card, and then we'll talk about the Dawson versus Green trash fight night card. So we'll see you guys next time. It's Glove Talk.
Yeah, drug test the judges, not just the Chris Tognoni, you need to get drug tested, but drug tested the judges, and to all the fans that drove out for Noche UFC, right? Chinga tu madre, way. All right, y'all suck. The fans sucked, bro. All right, y'all can wave the flags, y'all can say si se puede, but you cannot tell me what half guard is. So there you go.